for the field and in front of the bat to collect. That's still mid-on region. So the pair have added 25 runs overnight for the last wicket. And they have 27 more to get. Let's see how they're going to go. Here's Keon Joseph, forward in defense to Merchant, and no harm done as the ball cleanly fielded by the fielder still mid-on in Paul Palmer. Overcomes to the end, the first over of the morning, 156, the Guyana Jaguars for 9. Joseph is still on 5. Pamal added Pamal is on 20, one leg by added this morning, and they still need 26 to win. Yes, Clyde?
Yeah, I think it's interesting that that John didn't actually start with Salmon this morning. He's hot. He's got 7 wickets in the innings so far, and we see he started with Merchant, and then he's going to use Harty from the other. A little surprise to me, but he knows, he probably decides that Merchant gives the ball a little bit more tweak. He bowls a little slow, and especially with Joseph out there, he's got a better chance of getting him, and Harty goes away from the right-handers. So that could be a plus for him as well.
So we see Harty coming around to wicket and bowls to Pamal. This one beats the keeper as well. Blackwood in hot pursuit as the ball goes down towards the boundary behind the keeper, and it goes across the ropes now and buys signaled by umpire Zahid Bassarat. So 4 extras of this over.
Well, there's 5 buys already.
That's right.
The first one was a buy as well. So, I'm sure the Jaguars wouldn't mind that, but it would be very disappointed if you're a field side to giving away 5 buys when you're defending some 20-odd runs with 1 wicket to get. I think that's very disappointing.
Overnight, Harty, 10 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 32. And Salmon, the star of the show, 7 for 56. Not bowling this time, so Harty continues bowls to Pamal hit on a pad as an appeal for a leg before. Umpire Bassarat stays not out. The fielder's not in total conviction, however, Clyde.
I think Harty is bowling from wide of the crease, and that was angled down leg side. I don't think it's straightened up enough as well. So Pamal getting away with that one. But I think Pamal has to look to play a little straight. I know there's a lot of gaps on the onside, and that one, he just looked to probably hit it wider mid-on to get a single.
Right-handed Pamal on 20, taps away, waits for Harty. Harty bowls outside the off stump, and the ball spins away from the right-hander, not forcing him into a shot. Nicholson, 3 overs overnight, none for 18. Derval Green, 5 overs, none for 18. Jamie Merchant before his first over this morning, 1 for 17 from 7. And Kumabona, the other bowler, used 2 overs, none for 5. Down the leg side again, Harty to Pamal. Not getting his radar this morning, Harty. And 1 more to the Guyana Jaguars. They move on to 161. And that required run now is just 21. I say just 21 because they've already added 30.
Things have looked different this morning as well, because they've actually scored in the 2 overs that they've been out there, whether it's off the bat, pad, leg buys, whatever it is, and it's been 5 buys. The Jaguars would be very happy with that.
Keon Joseph is on 5 not out. The last time he made this much runs, I say this much because he's not known for his batting, was 2 years ago in Jamaica.
Well, I don't think the runs matters as much as it's the occupation that he's occupied the crease.
This time, Harty gets a delivery that spins away from Joseph as he stretched forward. Beautiful delivery, nice loop. And Joseph, with all of his experience and ability, he would say he pulled in the line. It goes by to be taken by Dennis Smith. So good morning, wherever you are joining us this morning. This time again, Joseph is beaten outside the off stump as he stretched forward to Harty. And Harty with a little bit more revolutions than that one. And the ball spun much sharper outside the edge, beating the outside edge of Joseph's bat and into the gloves of Dennis Smith. The end of the over, 161. The Guyana Jaguars started overnight, 155. So they've added 6 runs this morning. Pamal has 21. Joseph is on 5. They need 21 more for victory.
21 more for victory for the Jaguars. 1 wicket to get for the Scorpions. Yeah. Quite interesting. I like the way Pamal has actually set out. I think what Pamal has decided, if there's any bad delivery, he's going to try and put it away. And Joseph, obviously, is just looking to support, try and get steer there to the end.
Survival is the name of the game for Keon Joseph. He's at a non-strikers then and watches as Jamie Merchant starts a new over, bowls to Pamal on the line of the middle leg stump. Pamal goes back and then plays it down towards straightish mid-wicket. John Campbell, the captain, comes around to his left to collect. No damage done. 161 for 9, 182 the victory target. Here is Harty, and beautiful conditions for cricket at Providence. Bowls to Pamal, Pamal forward and stabs it out in front of him. So Clydie, this is really a good game for what it's worth. But I'll ask your assessment on both teams going forward, because will the Jamaican Scorpions be happy with this? Will the Guyana Jaguars be happy with the performance? We'll have your thoughts in a short while, because we're down towards the end of this game. Here is Merchant, right time off break bowler from a high action, bowls over the wicket to Pamal, power for the defense, and the bowler collects.
Both teams will be happy with their performance in the field. I don't think they will be happy with their performance in the bat. With the bat, I don't think both teams would be. Both teams have bowled pretty well. They've looked good in the field. So I think they would be happy with that aspect of the game, but not happy with the way that they've batted in this game.
And what about their fighting spirit as the ball takes a single down to long on?
Yeah, I think in the field, the fight has been great. They've showed it. I mean, think about it. Scorpions defending 187 in the first innings. They came out. They fought well. They certainly didn't say, well, we've only got a low score on our first innings and we're going to fall. They fought. The Jaguars came back and bowled pretty well again, apart from some low order batting as well. And look, right down to the end, we are seeing this fight here by the Jaguars.
Merchant to Joseph forward and plays it. Look at the kill the spin. He does so. Paul Palmer at Slibidon collects.
I just think John Campbell may be missing a trick as well. I think every time you've got the Joseph at strike, you've got to put more pressure on him. You have to put more pressure on him. You have to get him out.
The silly mid-on, a slip. Those are the men around the bat. The others in the circle. We have a short fine leg. It's mid-wicket, the mid-on, mid-off, extra cover, and backward point. There's a deep mid-wicket on the boundary. Edges past the keeper and first slip again. Dennis Smith is having a terrible run. I did not want to say it earlier, but this one goes into the boundary for 4, just below our microphone.
But I don't think that's Dennis Smith's catch. I think that's Blackwood's catch. Blackwood should be catching that. That as a 4-slip fielder, you need to be very straight for an off spinner. That's where it's more than likely to go to the edge. I think what Blackwood did there is just turned and looked at the ball and allowed it to go.
Well, if you look at it, the way the boat actually put just one hand to block it rather than go for it to catch.
Because when an off spinner is bowling, the wicketkeeper tends to follow the ball. It's going to turn in. He's not going to go away. He tends to go inside the line of the ball. So to turn back now and snatch at it would have been difficult for him. Blackwood should have been following that ball.
That's a bad miss for the Jamaica Scorpions quite early on day number 4. They could have very well had the wicket of Kean Joseph for 5, but he moves on to 9 with that boundary.
But again, isn't it that you're supposed to have more than one slip or more men around the bat when Kean Joseph is batting?
Put pressure on the number 11. So Guyana Jaguars won 6 for 9 as he overcomes to an end. Merchant looking there for that wicket, did not collect it, but let's see what Patrick Harty is going to do. So Clydie, the runs required now under 20. 16 more for the Guyana Jaguars to get.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed with how John Campbell is ending this game here at the moment.
This time, Pamal goes back, opens the face of the bat, stares away from that first step fielder, looking for the second. Will get it. Good running from the Guyana Jaguars last pair. Pamal opened the face of the bat, and immediately his partner responded, and they got 2.
I think when you look at it, and not even Pamal at this stage, I think is going to go for try and play a big shot. And it's easier to score behind, especially where Joseph is concerned. It's easier for Joseph to score behind the wicket. And so I think Campbell is actually missing a trick.
This time, Pamal off the back foot and punches it down towards a deep cover, but will not take the single. And that ball, Clydie, that Pamal got 2, could have very well been stopped had there been a second slip in that region. So let's see. Harty it is with a skip and a jump. Bowls to Pamal. Pamal is forward, bat and pad close together and drive towards that short extra cover where the captain, John Campbell, is stationed. He collects 168 for 9. This is going to be, whichever team will take the victory will be very happy with the fight. Pamal goes back into his crease, so full delivery, plays it defensively back up the track. We've seen...
And with one delivery to go, the field hasn't changed.
That's right, looking to keep Pamal.
Well, I see the bat pad is now going back out to a mid-wicket position, but still, you need to make sure that single is not taken.
Here is Harty, round the wicket to the right-handed. Pamal opens the face of the bat, looking to run it down to backward point. Will not get a single. Good alertness being shown by Salmon, it looks like, who comes in very quickly and he collects. So that's the end of the over. 168 Guyana Jaguars for a loss of 9 wickets, looking to get 182 to win. They're still 14 runs away.
Well, they've got a chance of bowling a whole over at Joseph, and I'm sure they'll be thinking now that, we need to make this over count. We cannot afford to allow Joseph to get a single, to get Pomal on strike. I think this over, you have to make it count.
8-1 from Blackwood in the first innings and 57 from Nkrumah not out in the second innings. Just the 2 half centuries in this game. Pomal 6 wickets in the second innings and Salmon 7 wickets. The spinners really collecting the bulk of the wickets in this game, and that's why we're having this low scoring game. 187 the Jamaica Scorpions in their first innings. Jaguars replied 190, a slim lead of 3 runs. And when the Jaguars were bowling a second time, the Jamaica Scorpions got to 184. The target set 182. Overnight 155 for 9 the Guyana Jaguars with Pomal on 20, Joseph on 5. They were 27 runs away from victory, and now they have wiped off some more. They're now 168 for 9, 14 runs away from victory. As we see some adjustments being made to the field, fielders are walking all over, hands gesticulating. What's happening there, Clyde?
Well, I think they're not making a decision on whether to attack Joseph a little bit more or not. They've just left the field the same way. If I had to bet now, I would say Joseph is probably going to edge this ball down to third.
Again,
some runs again.
Last ball of the previous over from the same bowler, that's what he did. Let's see what's going to happen now. Merchant and Joseph goes back into his crease and plays it into the onside. He's having a high back lift and coming down very hard on that ball. And the ball beats the fielder under the bat, and the captain at short mid-wicket collects. Joseph, like I said, this is his highest score in 3 years. 2018, did not play in 2019 for injury, and now in 2020. Here is Merchant down the leg side to Joseph, and it's taken by the keeper, not cleanly, and Palmer collects.
What am I doing with a man out at deep mid-wicket?
When it's just 14 needed, lots of time. So John Campbell, you need to have a word with Mr. Butts at the end of this game, because at the end of the day, it's cricket development we're looking for the West Indies. Here is Merchant, round the wicket, over the wicket in fact to the right-handed Joseph, and he's forward. Looks very competent at this time. He's been there for quite some time, Mr. Keon Joseph. And he plays it down towards that mid-wicket region for Campbell again to field. Cool conditions, nice breeze blowing across the Providence outfield. Just a few spectators on hand. They came in quite early today, and they're looking what's happening, and they're seeing Merchant passes umpire Butler, bowls to Joseph. Joseph edges this one wide of the first slip fielder, and Blackwood and Furadin from that backward point region runs around. Furadin gets there first. One more to Joseph, one more to the Jaguars. Joseph is into double figures. He's on 10. 169 for 9.
I called it. That's the only place he's going to score. All he's looking to do is block. He's not an accomplished batsman. He's looking to defend his stumps. If he's going to score, that's the area he's going to score, and that could easily be a catch for the second slip as well.
In another exciting game that's happening, the Under-19 World Cup final, India 177 all out moments ago. Bangladesh 62 for 2 in reply. This time, Pomal back in his crease and plays it from the back foot, a little bit in the air, but short of that fielder at short mid-wicket in Campbell. Pomal perhaps to be looking for a single a bit later on in the over, maybe now, maybe one more delivery to go. Merchant from the bottom end bowls to Pomal, a quicker delivery, punches it this one nicely, no pressure at all, down towards long on, and will get a single that himself and Joseph just have to trot to complete. 170 now as the over comes to an end. So the Guyana Jaguars last period, they've added 40 runs for the final wicket. They need 13 more for victory, Clyde.
Well, I think they look like favorites because I don't think the Scorpions actually are making any effort. It just seems to be going through the motion. Whether they think that Pomal or Joseph is just going to give them their wickets. I just don't understand what's going on.
Anthony Bramble and Raymond Riffa added 47 for the 6th wicket. This is the second best partnership. We had Hemraj 13, Chandapal, that's stage right, Chandapal 12, Leon Johnson 19, Vishal Singh no score, Barnwell 12, Riffa 13, Bramble 36, Kevin Sinclair 13, and Niall Smith no score. So that's why we're at the last pair. Here is Harty, start of a new over from the media center and bowls to Pomal. Pomal long forward in defense, plays it back up the track for Harty to collect. Harty in his 13th over now, 1 for 35 before this. And Merchant, 1 for 22, the other bowler used this morning. Here is Pamal forward in defense again to Harty. That's ball that's on the threatening the stump on the line of middle and off. And he will not score. 2 deliveries gone, 170. So 40 runs added, which means they need 12 more for victory. The Guyana Jaguars just batting and batting time. This one he goes back into his crease, Pamal. The ball came back into him from outside the off stump. Well bowled, Harty.
Yes, that's just missed the off stump, or Pomar got a little bit of an edge to that one, but certainly that was a very good delivery. A little quicker, it came back in with the arm, and certainly had Pomar in some trouble.
Here is Harty again, round the wicket. Nice high action to Pamal. Pamal goes back and stabs it down towards backward point, and does not score. He looks a little bit different, Harty, when he's threatening that stump, Clyde.
Yeah, I think when he bowls the arm ball, I'm not sure that Pomar is actually picking it.
Pamal again settles and awaits. Drives from the front foot this time into the onside. And will get a single. No pressure again as the ball is played deep mid wicket and footed in from the boundary. Comes in to collect, and one more to the total. 162 now. 172, 71 in fact. Just 11 runs away. And if you look at what's happening in the under-19 final, India, like I said, 177 all out. It took Bangladesh a really good effort to get the defending champions bowled out for 177. And they've lost 3 wickets for 5 runs because they were 61 for the loss of 1 a few moments ago, Bangladesh. And now they're 66 for 4. Joseph looks very good in defense as he places one from outside his off stump, going across his stump for Palmer to field just below the bat at silly mid-on as the over is completed. So another over completed, just a single from it. Harty looking to get 1 wicket, not coming so far. The Guyana Jaguars, in the meantime, move on to 171 for 9, still 11 runs away from victory.
Yeah, and I think Pamal has shown that he is an accomplished batsman. He's experienced, and the way he's batting out there, it looks like if nothing really is bothering him. He's just working the ball into the gaps, picking up the singles, making sure he get back and strike, and keeping Joseph, just giving Joseph a few deliveries to face, and Joseph has not looked bad at all either.
This season so far for Pamal, 4 against the Hurricanes, no score, and 6 against the Barbados Pride in Barbados. Came here 2 weeks ago against the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, made 7, but then in the first innings he had that wonderful knock of 35. Here he is now, awaits the bowling of Salmon. There's a change of bowling. Salmon replaces Merchant. First delivery on the line of middle and leg, and Pamal turns it into the onside, but will not take the single. The ball goes down to that short fine leg region. What do you make of that bowling change?
I'm not surprised, actually. Even though Merchant, I think, is getting the ball to turn and bounce, but Salmon is your hot bowler, and he is the one who's been taking your wickets for you. I'm sure you'll be thinking that he is the one this morning would have come and started to get the extra wicket.
Into the pad of Pamal, and it balloons into the air for a forward short leg to collect. Salmon, like I said before, there's 23 overs, 4 maidens, 7 for 56. He's on debut. This one is ballooning off the tight pad again as Pamal goes back into his crease, and Palmer runs around to his right to collect, close to the square leg umpire. So Jamie Merchant replaced this morning. Merchant overnight 10 and down 7 overs, and this morning completing 9. So 2 overs this morning. He had to pick up another wicket. He has 1 for 22, Merchant. Salmon bowls to Pamal. 4 deliveries completed so far, and all 4 has been played to that forward short leg fielder in Paul Palmer, who's under the helmet. Pamal is not wearing a helmet. He's wearing the baggy green Guyana Jaguars cap, and he's forward again. This time gets the single, turns it into the onside. A little bit of turn from Salmon, but Pamal just using that hint of turn to get a single, and also to go to the non-strikers then to give Joseph 1 delivery to face in the over. Rotation in the strike again. Good batting from Veerasammy Pamal. He's on to 27, 172 for 9.
Excellent batting from Veerasammy Pamal. But again, one has to see good cricket. And I'm very disappointed with the way the Scorpions have gone about it this morning. They're just probably thinking that, like I said, that Pamal or Joseph is just going to lie down and die. And now we see captain going into a second slip position. But that last delivery, why won't you put the bat pipe back, force Pamal to do something different to get a single?
This time Joseph gets one on his leg and turns it into the onside. And Pomar will not take that single as the ball goes just to the right of the square leg umpire. And the fielder at short fine leg ran around to collect. Over is completed. So the Guyana Jaguars need just 10 more, Clyde. It's 172 for the loss of 9. And the day started with the Scorpions needing one. They haven't got that one as yet.
Well, they haven't got that wicket as yet, and certainly the Jaguars have been scoring. They have been scoring. Pommel has been picking up singles with the last 2 deliveries. We did see Joseph having to bat a whole over from Merchant, and he did so well. He got an edge earlier on as well for 4. So
17 runs scored this morning by the Guyana Jaguars last pair. Remember, they need to get 182 for victory. They know 172. Flicked away nicely from Pomal, and he's going to send back Joseph. They were both coming, and at halfway down the track for both of them, Pomal said, you know what, forget it, go back. And
good call.
yes.
Good call by Pomal. Well, I thought he initially thought that he could have gotten 2 because it was going to the right of footer, then out on the boundary at deep mid wicket.
But it was hit very well, so send back his partner. This time he's forward and plays it down towards extra cover. Campbell is there.
Why is the backward point in? Why shouldn't the backward point be back just in case there's a little edge so that he can save 2 runs?
Here's Pomal forward and defends, back up the track to Harty. So Harty, like I'm saying, just threatening that stump. But so far, Pomal is very good in defense. And the defense back up the track. He's defending towards short extra covers. Playing very good on the front foot, very Sammy Pomal. Flighted delivery from Harty, and Pomal just stands tall and punches it down towards long on. Will get a very easy single. 173 now. Pomal moves on to 27 and
2 deliveries left.
And 9. The required runs now, it's in single digits.
Well, 9 required, 1 wicket still required. Joseph has got 2 deliveries to face from Harty. And now I see the captain now deciding that he's going to put a little bit more pressure on Joseph.
Harty, forward, short leg, still a bit off, goes down, and the first slip as well. This time, Joseph goes forward and plays it into the onside. Joseph looks very comfortable to the spin of Harty. He got an edge when Merchant was bowling from the southern end. Yesterday afternoon, before stumps were drawn, Roger Clougher was asking why was there no seam being used, why the Jamaica Scorpions not trying something different. It was all spin. So let's see what Harty is going to do. Harty has been entrusted. It's been the spin of Nkrumah, Merchant, Salmon, and Harty. Harty this time, and this time is edging down towards short man and will not take the single. That could have been a very easy single, but Pomal rightfully sending back his partner because you don't want Joseph to be on strike at the start of a new over when any bowler could have been used. So end of the over, Pomal is on 28, Joseph is on 10. It's now 173 for the loss of 9. The Guyana Jaguars requiring 9 more for victory, and the Jamaica Scorpions just 1 wicket away.
Would you, when you look at this and what's happening out there, would you believe that it's just 1 run, that is just 1 wicket that's needed for the field inside? There seems to be no discussion. The captain seems to be just going about his position, standing at cover, no discussion with the bowlers. It's amazing.
Yeah, what I noticed John Campbell was doing as he was walking into his position at that leg slip area, he was looking at his scoreboard. I wonder if he's wondering how many more and how long more he's going to be out there. Here is Salmon, bowls to Pomal. Pomal gets the ball that's turning it away from his pad and down the leg side, taken by the keeper. There's a leg slip, still a bit on, and a short extra cover. Those are the fielders close to the bat. Everybody else on the boundary at long off, long on, deep mid wicket, deep backward square, and cover. This time he's flicking it, taken on the pad. Campbell does not collect at that fine leg, short, at that slip region, leg slip. So after this game, it's going to be round number 5. The Guyana Jaguars will be heading to Grenada, and the Jamaica Scorpions will be heading home. So this time, Pomal drives to long on, will not take the single as the ball goes very close to the boundary. The fielder from long on comes in. Looks like Bonner, and he sends a return back to the bowler. So the Jamaica Scorpions will be at home to the Leeward Islands at Trelawney. Trelawney is going to be used for first-class cricket from the next round. That's Thursday coming. the Guyana Jaguars will be going to take on the Volcanoes in St. George's, Grenada. Here is Salmon from the southern end of the ground. He's going to be continuing to Virasamy Pamal. Here is Pamal, right-handed batsman. Receives from Salmon. Salmon poses this one on the line of middle stump. Pamal turns it into the onside, but will not take that single. Palmer from below the bat there runs around to collect. So the tournament continues, Clydie, so it's all to play for really. And I'll give you some stats at the end of the over because it will take some time to go through, and we'll show you exactly how the tournament is set up nicely for the rest of the tournament. Really, this is only round number 4. Here is Salmon, does not deliver, and we're coming down towards the end of the over.
With 2 deliveries to go, shouldn't John Campbell be thinking about stopping Pomar from getting onto the strike?
Should be, because you would want to bring in that field to prevent that single.
Or push the 2 men the man at leg step and the man at short leg back to save the single.
Push those catchers back indeed, but perhaps he's looking to take that wicket. He's backing his bowler now. Here is Salmon, top of his mark, looks around the field, realizes that everybody's in position. Here he is, bowls to Pamal. Pamal drives forward of the front foot and down towards extra cover, and he will not score. So final delivery of this over coming up from Pete Salmon. And now we see the leg slip and the steely mid-on retracting. They're moving into runs-saving positions. The steely mid-on goes to square leg, and the leg slip goes to regulation mid-wicket to save one.
Footed in comes off the boundary at point.
Comes off as well. That's Asad footed in. Still one slip in position. That's Blackwood. Here is Salmon down on the middle stump to Pamal. Pamal defends quite easily, and it will mean that Keon Joseph will have to face at the start of the new over. In the meantime, a maiden completed from Salmon. Virasamy Pamal remains on 28. Keon Joseph on 10. 173 for the loss of 9. And I was saying, Clydie, this season so far, the Guyana Jaguars, they've played 4 matches. They've won 2. They've lost 1. In the previous years, the most the Guyana Jaguars have lost in terms of a series in the tournament, 3 matches in 2018, 2019, last season. And they still went on to win.
Yeah, so you're always going to get a game in a tournament where you've got to play 10 matches. Yeah. There is going to be a game where probably you're not going to win. So they've lost 1. This one is still on, still game on balance, here. Yeah. Anything can happen. You don't want to be losing 2 consecutive games, or 2 games, because it's not consecutive. They won against Trinidad Red Force last week, and now you've got the Scorpions. But in 4 games, you don't want to lose 2 games.
Right.
So certainly they want to win this one, keep their thing, because Barbados, they have been doing well, and they looks like they could well win this game today. And if they should win, regardless of what happens here, they will be up front. Because they got batting points. Guyana the Jaguars haven't had any batting points in this game. And the Seamers haven't bowled a lot either.
That's right. Pomar picking up the bulk of the wicket, supported by Sinclair. So it's going to be a bowling change from the media center end, and it's going to be paced for the very first time in a long time in the form of Darvel Green. So in the first season, the Jaguars lost 1 game. Second season, they lost none. Third season, they lost 2. Fourth season, they lost none again. Last season, they lost 3. All those seasons, they went on to win the title. This year looks much different, and the bowlers especially has been a bit inconsistent, we see. And this game, the batsmen were struggling. So Darvel Green, 5 overs, none for 18 before this, comes in, and he's going to be replacing Harty, who has been bowling from the northern end at the start of the final day. Harty, 13 overs, 1 for 36. Salmon completes 24 overs, 7 for 56. And Merchant, the other bowler used this morning, 10 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 24. You haven't seen Nicholson Gordon, who has bowled 3 overs, none for 18. And Nkomabona, 2 overs, none for 5. So Darvel Green, your thoughts on this bowling change, Clydie?
Well, I guess John Campbell decided he's got to try something a little different here. Whether it's the right time, because Harty probably would have loved to bowl at Joseph for 6 deliveries, or even a Bonner in terms of bowling leg spin at the last batsman, C may be easier to negotiate when you're just defending.
So here is pace for the first time this morning. Joseph gets a single immediately. It's a low full toss on the line of the pad, and Joseph just works it into the onside down to fine leg for a single, and that single will take the Guyana Jaguars now on to 174, which means they're just 8 runs away, 2 hits away from victory, Clyde.
2 hits away. If John Ramsing was batting, that's what he would have tried. But I don't think we'll see that from Pomal. I think Pomal is going to try and look to continue to rotate the strike, try and hug the strike as much as possible.
All day to play.
I think when you're bowling to number 11, sometimes you get carried and want to bowl full.
Yeah, you want to blast him out quite early. This time, Darvel Green to Pomal on the line of leg stump again. Pomal turns it down to square leg, will not take the single. All that was there for the taking.
But sometimes I think personally that it's easier to bowl back of the length to them because it's harder for them to defend and then try and bowl them at the Yorker.
So Pomal looks competent. He's on 28. Has a good
he's definitely my man of the match for this game.
Well, he had a man of the match performance against the Red Force 2 weeks ago.
What happens here in this situation?
Yes. 174 to Guyana. This one is down the leg side as he moves across the stump. And there's an appeal from the bowler for a leg before. Now it says umpire Bassarat immediately. And the ball goes down to fine leg. But the fielder's there. So Pomal remains at crease as well. He does not attempt the single. He do not want to expose Joseph. Joseph remains on 11 added on strikers and Pomal on 28. Still 8 runs away from victory.
And Pomal has got to be a little careful here because he's walking across the stump. He went a long way across the stump that last delivery. So he's just got to be careful.
So round 5 will bowl off on the 13th of February. Here is Green. And this time Pomal gets a full delivery. There's an appeal for leg before given. And that's the final nail in the coffin. Pomal leg before to Darvel Green. The bowling change has worked. So the Jamaica Scorpions winning this contest against the Guyana Jaguars by 7 runs. Leg before, Pomal to Darvel Green for 28. The Guyana Jaguars 174 all out on the final morning.
Well, I just said Pomal has to be careful how he's walking across his stump because he seems to be going across a little bit. But that was pitched up. It was angling in. Maybe Pomal would think he might have been a little hard done by that one, but certainly he played very well. His innings was composed. He batted pretty well. He bowled pretty well in this game, and he is the one outstanding performer in terms of the Jaguars, both with bat and ball, because I think he may have top scored in both innings in this game as well. So Pomal has had an outstanding game, and he would be thinking, well, I'm disappointed. I could not take my team over the line in this game, but it was a well played innings by Pomal and well supported by Joseph as well, because they batted for a very, very long time and looked like if they were going to take the Jaguars over the line.
Yeah, they were asked to get 182. The last pair added 44, falling short by 7 runs. So 7 runs, victory for the Jamaica Scorpions. It will revive their campaign. They were at the bottom of the point standing heading into this match. And now with this lifeline, we would say, given, they would like to improve on that one. They initially came into this match on 21.2 points. They will take 12 points for the win and a few fast bowling points. And the Guyana Jaguars, 44.6 points at the start of this game. Just a few, maybe not a point something.
Not a point there, maybe.
No, terrible. No batting point.
No,
they got 3 bowling bonus points.
3 bowling bonus points. That would be it for bowling the side under the 90 overs. And the Scorpions will have those 3 bowling points as well.
That's right.
And other points, both teams not really getting a batting point in this game.
That's right. Yes. At Providence.
Yeah. So, but interesting, and the bowlers would say, well, we've won this game for our side, the Scorpions, but you cannot take away from the innings that Blackwood played in the first innings and Bonner in the second innings, supported by the lower orders. I think they both played well, and the way how Pomal batted showed that he is a capable all-rounder, and he certainly nearly won this game for the Jaguars.
Nearly won it is exactly what he had done, because he had given everybody hope overnight. the way he had batted when he finished on 20 not out, and along with Joseph, 5 not out. At that stage, they had added 25 runs, and they were looking to get a 4-27 to make a miracle of the game. That was not to be. It was Darvel Green with the breakthrough this morning that really did it in just about 34 minutes of play this morning to make the Scorpions winning by 7 runs. I'll run through the bowling figures for you, Clyde, and then we look ahead. The bowling figures this morning were Pete Salmon, 25 overs, 5 maidens, 5 for 57. Before we go further, he's on debut. 1 wicket in the first innings, 7 in the second innings. It's a debut to remember because he had a pair as well when batting.
Well, he will remember this game for the good and the bad of it.
Yes.
It's the good and the bad, and he probably will be saying to his friends and family, well, I played as a bowler and I've got the results I need. I know I can bat, and I'm sure in the future he'll get a few runs, but his bowling he was very consistent with what he did. He's not a big spinner of the ball. Obviously, he understands what his role, and he played it very well. He bowled wicket to wicket. And if you look at the amount of LBWs he got in the game, he bowled wicket to wicket, bowling on a pitch that is slightly low. It's not really, he's not a big turner of the ball. He hardly bowled a bad ball. So I think you've got to give him credit for that. Yes, you would love to see him spin the ball a little bit more, but that's what he's played for, and that's what he did here.
Nicholson Gordon, 3 overs, none for 18. Darvel Green picked up the important wicket this morning, 5.3 overs, 1 for 18. 1 for 19, in fact. Jamie Merchant, 10 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 24. Patrick Harty, 4 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 37. And the other spinner used, and Kumabona, 2 overs, none for 5. But how well did Merchant bowl?
I think I like the way how Merchant set up. I think he's an off spinner that can go forward. He's had to remodel his action. He gives the ball a little bit of a tweak. He gives the ball air, and he make batsmen play. He doesn't bowl a lot of bad deliveries. And I guess as time goes on and he's gotten his confidence back, we'll see a little bit more of Merchant. I think he will cause some problems for a lot of the batsmen in the region.
So, like I said, the Guyana Jaguars were asked to get 182 to win. They lost Chanderpaul Hemraj 13, Tej Narayan Chanderpaul 12, Leon Johnson 19, Vishal Singh no score, Barnwell 12, Reefer 13, Anthony Bramble 36, Kevin Sinclair 13, Niall Smith no score this morning. Whereas Samir Pamal 28, Keon Joseph not out, Indiana on 11, 174 all out, 59.3 overs. So your overall assessment on the batting of the Guyana Jaguars second innings?
I don't think they batted as well as they're capable of, and I think at times they got themselves into a little bit of a rut by not looking to rotate the strike. On a pitch like this where a ball is going to take you out, one is going to keep low, you've got to try and put a little bit more pressure on the bowlers. There's no point in one bowler bowling a lot of deliveries to one batsman. It has to be a rotation, especially spinners. Spinners love to know that they can set up a batsman. They can bowl 6 deliveries to him. And when you do that, you tend to get your rhythm right, things go right for you, and you put pressure back on the batting side. So I would like to see them look to rotate the strike a little bit more. Barnwell, I think, tried to do that in his innings. He looked a little more comfortable. Bramble just seems to be a bit out of sort. Even though he got some runs in this game, he didn't look the Bramble that we know he can. And I think the Bramble that I know is a man who comes in with confidence and look to score. I think he's got to try and get back that little confidence. And maybe it's a case whereby the coaching staff can just say, look, Bramble, this is how you play. Try and play your game. Don't worry with anybody else's game. And I think that would help him. I think the Scorpions as well just worked out Hemraj a little. Because I think with putting that feeler back at backward point on the boundary from the first day, it's restricted his stroke play. He's a player who loves to throw his bat at deliveries outside the off stump. And those are things that as players you have to work out for yourself. How am I going to score my runs? They've blocked that shot up. Where am I going to score? He is an opening batsman. He's got to learn to just work the balls around a little bit more and pick up singles.
In the other matches, the Hurricanes 181 and the Pride replied 398. Batting a second time, the Hurricanes 10 without loss at stumps. That's at Warner Park in St. Kitts. And in the other game of the round, they had some rain yesterday at Windsor Park. Red Force 373 for 9 declared. In reply, the Volcanoes 71 for the loss of 2. So those are the end. That's the other matches in round 4,
Well,
Clyde.
there was no play in Windsor Park yesterday, so there was rain all day in Dominica, and the Leewards could well hold out for a draw today as well because they've got all their wickets in hand.
And today is actually the third day because that game started a day later.
Sorry, so they've got 2 days to back.
Yeah, but Pride,
still 2 days to
control
go.
of that
Yeah, Pride is definitely in control of that with 2 days to go.
So the next game in the tournament is going to be, the next round in fact, is going to be February 13 to 16. The Scorpions, like I said, will be at home and they'll be hosting the Hurricanes at the Trelawney Multipurpose Complex. The Pride will be hosting the Red Force at the Kensington Oval, while the Volcanoes will be in Grenada hosting the Guyana Jaguars. That's in round 5. Round 6 will also have matches out of Guyana. We'll return to Guyana at the National Stadium for round 7 on March 5 to 8 after general elections in Guyana. So when the Guyana Jaguars will be hosting the Leeward Islands Hurricanes for round 7. So much of cricket to be played in between then. We'll be having the Guyana's 50th Republic Anniversary Cricket Fiesta right here at Providence. We'll be having hardball, softball, I think women's cricket as well, to celebrate 50 years of Guyana as a cooperative republic. That's on the 21st of February, and I understand plans are in place to make that as big as possible. The world is invited to Providence, and those who cannot make it to Providence, I understand, will be able to follow live on the internet and radio, television, and so on right here. The days West Indies under 15 in the county tournament will bowl off on the 16th to the 22nd to 15th to the 22nd of February right here in Guyana. We have the over 50s World Cup in March, and we have that Orlando Softball Cup in March as well. And so much happening locally for the Regal teams. Regal teams will be having a fundraising barbecue on the 22nd of February. The Women's World Cup will begin on the 21st of February, and that's happening in Australia with defending champions Australia at home. West Indies women's are already in Australia. I saw them. They had some pictures on their social media. They're actually taking some scene of Australia in the Australia Zoo. So, Clyde, lots of cricket to be played.
Lots of cricket to be played and interesting cricket as well. And the one thing about the cricket, and you look at this 4-day game, it was gripping, it was tight. A little disappointing probably that you don't get more people coming out to watch the cricket because at the end of the day, it's your national teams that are playing, and you would love to see people come out and support.
And the other game that's on today, India, the defending champions in the Under-19 World Cup, they're up against Bangladesh. India batted first and were bowled out for 177. In reply, Bangladesh so far 97 for the loss of 5. They need a further 81 runs with 5 wickets in hand. That seems to be heading for a tantamount finish as well, Clyde.
Still a good game. Still anybody's game.
All right, so that's it from Providence. My name is John Ramsing on behalf of Clyde Butts, Inderjeet Prasad, Roderick Lovell, and Ravishwar Latif for our scorer. I want to thank you for your company throughout the match. I want to wish you well for the rest of the season and remind you that this morning the Jamaica Scorpions picked up the final wicket they needed to complete victory over the Guyana Jaguars. The Jaguars resuming on 155 for 9 with Pamal on 20 and Keon Joseph on 5. They were 27 runs away from victory, but they took it very close to 174 before Derval Green got Pamal leg before for 28, leaving Keon Joseph not out on 11, and to give the Jamaica Scorpions victory by 7 runs. Salmon, star of the show in the second innings, 7 for 57, supported nicely by his fellow spinners. Jamie Merchant with 1 for 24, Patrick Harty 1 for 37, and Derval Green picking up the all-important final wicket, 1 for 19, the medium pacer. So that's it from Providence. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of the season, like I said. We'll be back with you at Providence on March 5, but you can join our colleagues throughout the region in round number 5 that begins next Thursday. Until next time, it's goodbye.